So I had to change that to my legal company name, and I got charged £250 plus VAT. So that's £300, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Warren. I am a banker here in London and a property investor across the UK. My goal is to live free and independently from property. So I'm looking for an income of £3,000 from property per month in the next 5 years. If that's what you're into, also, if you like property, if you want to live independently and free, subscribe. That's what my content is all about. So guys, you might have seen my recent videos. I have just bought a property in Manchester using the online method of auction, and I'm looking to do the BRRR strategy. That's buy, refurbish, refinance. What I want to do today, guys, is to give you 7 key things that I learned from buying a property via the modern method of auction here in the UK. Going into this, guys, I had not done auctions at all before. I did a lot of online research before to try and familiarize myself with what to expect and how it would work out. I talked to various auction houses on the phone to them saying, look, I want to bid, how does it work? So I did a lot of research, but I've actually done it now, guys. I want to share with you, if you're thinking of going into auction. Me personally, I've always wanted to go into auction, but I put it off. I was like, no, it's an advanced way of buying a property for advanced investors. But guys, my personal opinion about it is, if you're well enough prepared and you know what to expect, you know the costs involved, you're going to be okay in the online method of auction, and this video is here to help you do that. So let's get straight into this. So first of all, let's talk about the online method of auction process. This property that I bidded on, it was listed for a few months. So if you go into Rightmove or Zoopla, you'll see a lot of properties listed the traditional way, but there's also a lot of properties on there via the online modern method of auction, whereby you're going to bid via an auction house, right? And you're going to be up against other bidders, and the winning person gets the property in the end. So this property was listed for a good few months. I first saw it months ago, and I added it to a shortlist, and I looked at others all across the UK. Again, I've done videos on my travels up and down the UK looking at various auction properties, but this one was listed for a few months. And the way that it works, guys, think eBay, but for properties. You can bid at any time between when it's listed all the way up until the end date. So it's gonna have a fixed date on which the auction ends, okay? And anyone can bid in between that for the months leading up to it. What traditionally happens is that people start bidding on the day that the auction ends. So as I said, this one was listed 4 months. We did see one bid the day before the last day of the auction. And I'm gonna give you a bit of insight into what I think auction houses do to drive up the prices of properties. This property was listed for £80,000. Now, as I said, the day before, I saw a bid go in for £95,000. There were no other bids on the property. Some genius has decided to bid £15,000 above the auction price the day before the final auction deadline. Now, would any rational person like me or you do that? No, that was the auction house getting involved to rise the property above the reserve price, or to the reserve price, whatever that was. And yes, auction houses are allowed to do that. They're allowed to bid on their own properties that they're listing. Crazy. So on this particular auction, you bid in £500 installments, so you have to go up in increments of £500. You're bidding against other people throughout. As I said, it's unlimited, however many people want to sign up and bid for the property. You exchange on the day that you win the bid. So you're going to pay a deposit. I paid personally 5%, but I've seen 10% elsewhere. So you pay a deposit on the day that you win, and you complete usually either 14 days, 28 days or 56 days later. Those are the predominant time periods that you see for the online modern method of auction. So guys, let's talk about the fees that come with the online modern method of auction. These are really important to get your head around and factor into your bid and, you know, your end gross development value and how much profit you're going to get out of the property. So here are some key fees that you want to be aware of. The first is the buyer's premium, the dreaded buyer's premium that makes no sense whatsoever, but it's great for the auction houses. Easy way for them to make money. It's usually a minimum of £6,000. And that is essentially a fee that you pay for the benefit, for the pleasure, for the complete privilege of buying a house online via the modern method of auction. These auction houses are taking a huge cut with this fee in particular, guys. On quite a lot of auctions, you also pay the seller's legal fees. There's also pack costs, so that's the cost of the pack that you download, the legal pack and all the information in there. You might pay a reservation fee as well. And there are also some penalty fees involved. You have a non-completion fee, so if you don't complete within those 14, 28 or 56 days, if you go beyond that, you can sometimes extend it, agree with the seller solicitors to extend the completion date and pay no fees, or if they're feeling aggy, they can charge you by the day. There's also a legal amendment fee, so I just paid one on the property that I won, right? So long story short, I buy properties in a limited company. However, when I signed up to bid, I signed up in my own name. I didn't think it would be an issue, but I won, exchanged, and on the legal paperwork it was noted down as my own name, my personal name. So I had to change that to my legal company name, and I got charged £250 plus VAT, so that's £300, guys. Today's video is brought to you by Invest Engine. Guys, I love property. That is my main focus, what I like to do, but I don't just focus on property. I like to diversify my investments outside of that to spread my risk, and I also invest in the stock market. The property and the stock market are 2 out of the 4 biggest sources of wealth in the UK. An app that I personally use to invest in the stock market and index funds is called Invest Engine. Reason why I love Invest Engine is because you can create an account and start investing in a few minutes from your phone. There's no fees involved, and your money is protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme up to £85,000. This app makes it simple and accessible to invest in the stock market, especially if you're a novice. I personally have a direct debit each month, and it goes straight into a global index fund every month. I don't even have to think about it. It's all automated and it does it for me. And guys, if you sign up and invest at least £100 with Invest Engine, you get a £25 bonus if you go through the link in the description below. So guys, sign up today and diversify your investments. And now back to the video. To just amend one line of text. So for what it's worth, be aware of that. If you're going to buy in a legal company, make sure all of the paperwork is drafted accordingly. Okay, next up is to get your solicitor to review the auction property legal pack, guys, before you bid. Okay, they're going to point out all of the risks and issues, stuff like title issues with the title, fees, restrictive covenants, all of that kind of stuff that you might not necessarily be able to decipher from these wordy legal packs, because we can only do so much. They're written in legalese, almost another language, guys, and some of the titles are from the 1900s, so they're literally written in ye olde English. So you want to get a legal representative, a conveyancer, a solicitor to review the legal pack before you bid. Also, guys, review it yourself to see what you pick up. Next is to go and view the property, guys. You have to go and view it. I think you're asking for trouble if you bid on an auction property based on just pictures alone, guys. Now, a lot of these sites do like 3D virtual tours, and you feel like you're in the property, and that could lull you into the sense of security where you think, okay, I know this property, I don't need to go and see it. But guys, jump in the car, do the legwork, go view the property, because there's always going to be stuff that you see in person physically that you don't see, okay, from pictures. One thing to be aware of, guys, is that with viewings, a lot of the time they're strictly scheduled slots, okay? So you're gonna have to turn up at a specific time, and the slots that I've seen for the most part on my travels up and down the UK, half an hour slots. So you get half an hour to do your work, take the pictures, do basically an amateur survey of it, and then you're out. It's not unlimited time. They don't give you the day. You can't come and go as you please. It's strictly scheduled slots. Also, guys, ask questions, guys. When you're at the property, it's usually going to be an agent. Ask some questions. Ask them about the interest in the property so far to get an idea of the competition. Ask them about comparables. How much is a comparable property down the road, a few doors down, selling for? So you have an idea of the end value of this property. Ask them about the rentability. Who rents? Who lives here? Is it families? Is it students? Is it a nice area? Take advantage of that, guys. It is invaluable information, okay? Next up, guys, is to survey the auction property. I mentioned before that there are 30-minute slots given. A traditional survey takes around about 2 hours. So generally speaking, for most auction properties, you're not going to have the time. The surveyor is not going to have the time to do a full survey. So when you're speaking to the surveyor, you want to explain that to them. And guys, ask for a reduced price, right? Because they're not going to do a full survey. They're not going to do 2 hours worth of surveying and assessment on this auction property. So I don't think you should be paying for that. I personally negotiated the price down, guys, on my surveys. Bear in mind that you're not going to get a full survey, so they're not going to give you the ins and outs of the structural integrity of the property, and it's not going to be a survey necessarily that a lender, if you're using lending, that they can rely on. So it's going to be an educated risk, guys, when you bid on this property. You're not going to have a full survey in your hands. Okay, so you've gotten the legal pack review, you've gone to visit it, you've had a survey done. The next thing is to register to bid on the property. As I said, it's online. This is an online modern method of auction. So you're gonna sign up to a portal, sign up to bid, and Bob's your uncle, away you go. One thing that you want to do, guys, is to test it out the day before the auction or a week before, just before the day of the auction, guys, to make sure that your account's all good and that you can bid on it without any issues. Because what you don't want is to have IT issues on the day of the auction and have the auction pass you by. So let's say, guys, that you've won the property. Congratulations. What you want to do ASAP, I'm talking within hours of winning the auction, is to notify your solicitor and your broker of how much you bought it for, who the auctioneers are, the address obviously, and all those other details that they're going to need. You want to have your documents ready as well to send, to stuff like your driver's license, your bank statements, your work contracts, etc, etc. Why am I saying this, guys? Because time is of the essence. I said at the beginning of this video, with auctions in general, including the online modern method of auction, you're going to have either 14, 28 or 56 days to complete. That is shorter than a traditional property purchase. So time is of the essence. You need to move fast to make sure that you don't miss the completion date, because nobody wants that, guys, okay? So get stuff in line really quickly and choose auction specialist legal companies, conveyancers, and also brokers. Choose specialist people who specialize in auctions, because they're going to know what the process is. They're going to know what they need. They're going to know that time is of the essence. A regular conveyancer, a regular broker might say they can do an auction for you. They can do an auction property. But when push comes to shove and they have to do it in real life, a lot of the time they can let you down. So choose specialists, guys. That's very important. Next up, guys, is to arrange buildings insurance. So check in the legal pack review whose responsibility buildings insurance is going to be after you've won and exchanged on a property. Usually it's going to be your responsibility. Why would the seller pay to insure a property that they've just sold? So you're going to have to get buildings insurance in place. Again, same day. You can do it online. I did mine online. It was about £230. Mine was empty. So it's going to be empty buildings insurance. And then, guys, as I said, once you've won the property, you're going to pay the deposit and you're going to exchange that same day. They're going to be on the phone to you. These auction houses don't play. They are on the phone to you for your money. You're going to send your documents and go through that whole process with your solicitor and your lender / broker. And then after 14, 28 or 56 days, you're going to complete. And the property is hopefully going to be all yours to do with it what you're going to do next. So, guys, that was an overview of the online modern method of auction and what to expect. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, or you can DM me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm at The Wealth Warren. Check out my dashboard, guys, the dashboard that I use to assess properties and buy properties across the UK. Subscribe and like for the algorithm, and I'll see you.